Hello and welcome to RC Scale Studios. My name's Kenny and I'm going to be working on this Arma Limitless build. This video is going to be mostly on mounting the parachute, which is becoming a little bit more work than what I was thinking. I thought it was going to be 1, 2, 3 and it's more like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Not a big deal. We're always on it over here at RC Scale Studios. So anyways, real quick, what we're trying to do with this parachute, I got this thing in my hands. Really cool parachute. It's actually inside of here with the spring that pops out, the whole 9 yards. You pull this little pin here, which will be connected to a servo, and then the chute actually pops out a pre-chute, and that pulls the main chute. And it's a 3-foot chute, so this is going to be a real, I'm going to call this violent or abrupt, jerk to the car. So I started thinking about that, and I was thinking, well, you know what? Maybe we need to make that where it's just a little shock resistant, so it doesn't try to yank the car in half, or half the battery pack's trying to fly a half a mile, down the runway there. Anyways, so I was thinking, I was up late again last night trying to figure this one out, and I came up with a pretty cool idea. I have a bunch of junk around in the garage from other models and things like that, so I started digging through the junk. And what I came up with was a pretty good thing here, I'm thinking. And what I'm going to end up doing is these shocks right here are actually going to help take the shock, or that initial pop of the parachute, out, so it doesn't yank the car so hard. And also what it's doing, it's transferring the shock load for me down to the pan itself, because I do want the chute to be up higher, so when it dumps all the way out and it's doing what it's supposed to do, it's not down here dragging on the ground. So if I come straight off of the pan, which that's really where we want to attach to, because this is really going to yank hard. I can't be attaching it to any plastic back here or anything else. It'll yank it right off the car, I guarantee it. So we got to get this thing attached correctly, or it's not going to do anything for us except for tear parts off the car, which might be kind of cool looking, but it ain't going to stop the car, right? So anyways, what I figure what I'm going to do is, this is like the tube that comes stock on the Arma Limitless. It runs right through the center here. My plan is I'm going to go to the hardware store today. I'm going to get a piece of square tubing that's longer, and I'm going to run it from here all the way through, so it'll be from the front all the way through, coming back to this lever here. This lever that I'm using is actually a swing arm off of a Super Baja Ray. Believe it or not. I upgraded that to aluminum and left me with a new stock part. So I'm using that as my lever from the parachute to the shock. So basically it goes this way, and what's going to happen, the chute mounts on here. See if I can get this right for you guys. Chute mounts on here. I'm going to do it backwards. There we go. It's going to mount right there. This is just the box that holds the chute alone. Mounts here. The chute strap mounts at the top of here, like that. So it's going to be like this on the car. Oops. It'll stay on there for me. Let's try that again. Anyways, I think you're going to get the hang of what's going on. Anyways, that's going to be like that on the car. Just like this. A little closer in. Now, what happens in this, chute comes out, it's attached here to this. So when it comes out, that chute is going to yank here, just like that. So this is my pivot point. It's got to be strong, right? And it is, because that pivot point is running all the way to the front of the car. So that's my pivot point right there. So when it yanks here like this, it's going to push in on the shocks right here, like that. Now I'm going to have to come right here and Dremel this out a little bit, because my shocks are going to be coming straight through here, out of the back, and this will be able to push on the shocks right there. They'll be popping out of the bottom there, if that looks right. So that's what I'm trying to do with this. And it really works out super cool, because what's happening there is when it pulls out here, my chute is going to be way up here, so it'll be up off the ground. So it pulls here and pushes in on the shocks here, so it's helping to transfer that shock load right here, right where these shocks are going in, right here to the differential, bolted to the chassis. Boom. That is going to do a lot. I think that's going to keep the car from trying to like come apart when this parachute comes out. So this, I think, is going to turn out fantastic. I made these little mounts right here, just a couple little aluminum blocks to mount the shocks. Kind of lets me be able to adjust these up and down a little bit. Screws are kind of tight right now, I can't move it, but that gets the shocks here mounted directly to the differential. So I'm going directly into the differential here with my bolts, and then to the chassis here. So I think this connection is going to be great. Also, this connection here, all the force is going in like this all the time, so there's nothing pulling out on it. That connection is going to be super well, or super good for us. This will stick through here like that, and this will be sticking out of the back. Doesn't quite fit, it's pretty close, but it's got to sit flat, you know, like that. You can see that. Anyway, so that's sticking out of the back. This is going up here. All the other stuff stays the same. It still all fits good. This gizmo's going back in here. It fits in just fine, just where it goes stock, believe it or not. Something like that. So that's still in there. That holds the wing. All that stuff works still. I'm still attaching the aluminum plate wings. And remember, these are attaching to my rails here, not just to this plastic, because the plastic is flexible. The metal rails coming up the car are real stiff, remember. So those are bolting to that aluminum there, to the aluminum over here. Wing comes across in the center. So that's the idea for the parachute. Now, sorry that took too long there, but I have a lot of trying to squeeze in real fast. Now, you might have noticed this. It's the beginning of our wind tunnel. We're really excited about this too. I was up late last night working on this stupid thing out here in the dark. Anyways, I am having too much fun. They're going to shut me down, I can tell. Anyways, let me show you what we got going on with this wind tunnel here. And then I'm going to get some more work done on the car. So let me get this out of the way real quick there, just a little bit. Matter of fact, what I'll do is I'll spin this around like that. Get this out of the way. Now we got the front of the car towards our wind tunnel. Now, on the wind tunnel, what we got going, let me get this up close here. Now, this glass plate down here on the bottom, it's got these aluminum this thing attached to it. I'm going to get some legs when I go to the hardware store today. Little ones, about 4-inch. And I'm going to put legs on this. So the glass is going to be up around 4 inches, because I want to see smoke underneath the car also, to see what that is doing. You know, when the air is coming through with the smoke in it. So we're going to be able to see underneath the car where the air comes through here, and what it does is it comes back through this area here. We want to see all of that. So we're going to be able to come down here low and look up underneath a little bit here. Now this is just the bottom. What I need to do also is I need to get some sides for it and the top. So I'm going to be looking for a little plexiglass today, I'm thinking. And that way that air is going to come straight through here. You know, the plexiglass will butt right up to the fan. So the portion coming through here will be nice and clean, coming straight over the car. You know, I'll make it just about the right size, so the body will be on it, of course, and we can see this air just flowing right through this car. There's a lot of cool stuff I want to go over with the airflow on the car, and a couple things I was looking at that I was kind of wondering how it would affect the wind hitting this one area, especially in the front of the body. It seems to be real flat looking, you know, so we'll be looking at that, and we'll see what that's going to be doing too. So that's really cool. This is mounted up real good, ready to go. In case it gets dark too early, I even got a light set up here too, so I'm ready to really get a lot done today. Oh, and then some more fun going on. There's always something going on crazy here. What I'm going to do is I'm going to try to make a smoker, you guys. Now, with the smoker thing I'm going to try to make here, it's basically the same type of little smoker that the guys make for their trains. Okay, I do a lot of trains also, you know, especially when it's rainy and stuff like that and you're indoors, you get to play with the train jet. Anyways, you know, we like our steam engines to be smoking and all that kind of stuff, so you can make smokers that work a lot better than the ones that come on them because they don't work that great. Anyways, what I'm going to try to do is make a really big one. Okay, so I got some ideas, and the way you make them is pretty simple for the most part, and I'm just going to make it a lot bigger and see what happens. So no guarantees, but let me get you a close-up. I'll take you over here to this pile of junk that I have over here, gentlemen. And this is our smoker, believe it or not. See if I can get a view in there. That's our smoker. Anyways, what I'm going to use, this right here, you might look a little familiar there, that wick inside of there. If you can see that white wick. This is off of one of those cheap old tiki lamps, the little oil burning tiki lamps. So you just light that little burner at the top there. Well, the wick sticks through. And so I got one of these out of one of those old tiki lamps. I think they cost like $2 or $3 new. So just a cheap thing here. And what I'm going to do, I'm not using the plastic part, but here, let me just try to get this. It's going to be a little bit hard there. Hang on there. Hang on. Okay. I'm going to be using this top part and the wick, because this is what soaks up the oil that smokes. So this is going to be going through here. Okay. You can imagine that. This is going to be like our little container that's holding the oil. That's going to go on top of there, and this I'll probably end up gluing on there, more than likely with some JB Weld or something, but I'll figure that out when I get to it. Now the wick goes in there, this goes on that. Wick doesn't need to stick through here necessarily, but it will be sticking up just a little bit so I can attach the wire. Now the way these things work is you got to get like a filament to wrap around this thing that's going to heat up, you know, to about a redness, and that way it will smoke the oil. And what I'm going to use on this particular one is this old toaster here, this old little beat up thing. I'm going to take this center thing out here and pull this filament looking thing out. It wraps around and around and around. Well, I'm going to take that thing out and I'm going to wrap it around this thing, you know, and then from the bottom of it you get a wire coming off of it that goes to the battery, and then from the top of it the other piece of wire from the top goes to the battery, and return that'll heat this up red. Okay, and that's what we want. That's what gets us smoking. The oil goes down in there, so you kind of get the gist of all of that. Kind of simple. Just real quick, the way you try to get this wire stuff to work is I'm going to take the whole thing out full length, and I'm literally going to take it and put it to the battery and see if it turns it red. This thing works on 110. This has got a lot of amperage in it though. It should turn it red. If it doesn't turn it red, I'll cut it shorter and shorter until it does turn it red. Then if it is long enough still, then I can wrap it around this and it'll work just fine. If it gives me some problems, I have an old blow dryer. I'm going to take that filament out of that thing. I think that's what they call it, the part that heats up, the heating filament or something like that. Anyways, don't quote me on that one. Anyways, I made a lot of these, but miniature, really tiny ones, you know, for train engines and stuff. So, like I said, I'm just making a big one, basically, real big. Never get this into my train engine, but would be cool. This thing should pump out a ton of smoke. Then what I got is this little 12-volt fan here, and what I'm going to do with this is just go ahead and that's going to go right on top of there. A little hot glue should stick that on fine, because this stuff doesn't get hot. The only thing that really gets hot is the wire that wraps around this, and it's contained down in here, you know. So not a big deal. This right here is 12 volt. This will also hook to the battery. So when we heat this up, the fan will turn on. The can will have an immense amount of smoke with this setup. It should. Anyways, and then this fan will blow the smoke out for me. And I'll probably make this longer. I'll make an attachment with possibly a little piece of hose on it of some sort. So when we're over here at the car, I can literally take this smoke, and I'm going to have it so I can get this in somehow here. So we can put the smoke like over here, you know, and then the whole thing too, I'm sure. So I'll work that out as it goes. But anyways, if you want to laugh, go ahead, because this is as hokey as it gets, guys. But this is what it's going to take. A little bit of JB Weld, some wire, tiki lamp toaster, a good battery, a little fan of some sort. That's it. An old can. I think there was beans in there. Anyways, there it is. So I'm going to try to get that thing together today. If not, maybe tomorrow. Real quick over here, just if you haven't seen the car with the motor out and the motor mount, there's just a quick peek of that, because that really turned out neat. And I just dig on these. This closes right down. Put your screws back in. Your motor's good to roll. The coupler, the ceramic bearings, everything. Too exciting. Okay, I'm gonna get going, guys, and that's it. There's our fan. Big old aluminum airplane looking propeller in there. I had this thing turned on yesterday. I'll tell you, it really kicks out some air, gentlemen. It rolls. I'm only running at a 110, and it could go up to the 220. It says, I think it's on here or whatever. But the 110, I'm telling you, it's good enough. It's not crazy. It's not gonna like take the table and go flying away. But I'll tell you, I wouldn't mind sitting right here in this nice sunshine and just having this thing blow on me all day long. That would be great. Oh yeah, and then if the parachute fails or doesn't work correctly, I have one more plan. And then we're gonna drop this. Do you think that should do the trick? So we might end up using the anchor too, right? Just joking, guys. Anyways, you know that was going to stop the car. You go hook that out behind the lid. Hook up. Anyways, I don't even know if my shocks here are going to be able to put up to an anchor, but you never know. We try to build things really, really good here. Anyways, have a great day, you guys, and I'll be talking to you soon. See you at the track.